So sometime back, I authored this book, Create Your Future, because I was going through some life challenges, and I reflected upon life and came up with this book, Create Your Future. Success and failure are predictable. The only way to predict your future is by creating it. I believe that by talking about the personal finances today, we will see how best to secure our future. So my sharing will partially base a few points from that. Is I said write that goal in the present tense, because like I was saying that most of us were raised, we have always talked of things in the future. We've always talked of I want to be this, I want to do this, and every time something is in the future, it never comes to pass. So as we are trying to work on our personal finances, we need to begin to write those financial goals that we have in the present tense. For example, you can write that I earn 5 million every month, or I save X amount of money. I save 500,000 every month, or I achieve XYZ. So always ensure that you write it in the present tense. So that kind of tunes your mind to feel that whatever you've written is actually achievable or accomplished. And the next idea that I still have in this book is for you to create visuals of that particular financial goal. So what I'm sharing can apply in any area of your life. It can be whichever area where you have a particular goal, though tonight we are trying to focus that on the area of financial management. Now, we have been raised in the church, and you find that when we go in the church, we are always seeing the images maybe of creation, the images of the saints, all these stories, the biblical stories put out visually. So the forefathers learned that principle, that our mind basically, the mind understands imagery. Even when you look at the Stone Age man, if you go back to Egypt, all those guys, when they were communicating, the writing was in the form of pictures or drawings. So what does that mean? It means that for the particular financial goal that you have, you need to create a pictorial representation of that goal, a visual representation of that goal. In the story of Abraham, we see when God was telling Abraham that I'm going to make you a father of all nations, he told him, go out at night, look at the stars, look up at the stars and count them. That's how many generations, or that's the number of children that are going to actually come out of you. So God still used that same principle to give Abraham, our forefather, a visual representation of the goal. So the question that I have to each of us tonight, if for the particular personal financial goal that you have, for the things that you want to achieve, do you have like a visual representation of that goal? Like for example, I think last year I had a goal of buying a car, and I only had about 15 million in savings. And well, I went to the bond, made that deposit, but prior to that I had the picture of the car that I wanted to actually purchase. So like the more I looked at it, the more I got motivated to actually work towards that goal. When you look for the people who want to build, some of you have like financial goal connected to constructing your dream home. You realize that there is no building that is ever built without a blueprint or a plan. And lately they also do a 3D visual representation of how that building will be, because the more that building is done, the more people are able to see it as already done, they are geared towards working towards that goal. Because majority of us, you find that you've written these financial goals or personal goals at the start of the year, and then along the way you kind of lose morale, or you're like, you know what, last year I didn't tick anything off my goal list. This year I've not ticked anything off, so come 2025 you have nothing on your list. However, if for you to actually achieve that particular financial goal that you intend to achieve in relation to your personal finances, you need to have like a visual representation. Like, what is it that when you wake up daily you are able to look at, and it reminds you that, you know what, even when my boss even when my boss has been harsh to me, even when my work colleagues have been, talking ill about me, even when I've not received support from my siblings, this visual representation of my goal keeps me motivated. Actually, that same principle is used if you look at children. When children are learning and they're in primary or in nursery school, we always, much as like we want to teach the kid, this is a cup, this is the book, this is something, but for the mind to master that, you'll always find charts drawn in the classrooms of those children, showing you, and the teacher will always repeatedly, seeing, what is this? This is a cup. What is this? This is a book. What is this? This is this. So, because out of repetition, the mind is able to actually master something, and when something has been cemented in the mind, then its achievement is actually very easy, because you are ideally motivated to move towards it. But majority of us, given the fact that we are coming from challenging backgrounds, what has been cemented in our minds is, experiences of poverty, experiences of lack. You have memory of when you didn't have school fees. You have memory when you were chased from home. The memory or the imagery you have is of when you lacked a meal. So when that becomes the core memory that you have within you, then chances are high that even when you wake up and you feel you have this personal goal of, say, this is a year of Jubilee, and there will be celebrations in Rome, probably you may wanted to go and be part of the team of people that will celebrate the year of Jubilee. But maybe when you think about, say, the 15 million that has to be saved, and then you are like, but even I struggled with, tuition at campus, my boss has paid me, late. So chances are high that you're going to be taken off course. However, if there is that visual representation of your goal, you find that even when those challenges come, you are ideally pushed to work towards it. Then the next point is about promises. When we read the Holy Scriptures, there are so many promises in relation to whichever life goal that you may be actually working on. There are promises to do with health. There are promises to do with good safety. There are promises to do with us living long. There are promises to do with raising godly children. There are promises to do with acquisition of land and expansion of our boundaries. Yeah, there are so many of those promises. Yeah, Joshua 1:8 say, keep this book. Yeah, I was saying that Joshua 1:8 says, keep this book of the law always on your lips, meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful. Yeah. So meditation on the promises of God. Basically, when we talk of meditation, it's more of like thinking about something over and over again in your mind. Yeah. And through meditation, you're able to see the promise that God has for you in regards to your finances as already accomplished. Yeah. So it doesn't matter the background where you may come from, it doesn't matter the past experiences, but for the future that you desire, once you meditate upon the word of God and the promises in relation to the goal that you want to achieve, then it's usually just a matter of time for what you are meditating on. And even when you are in those moments when you feel down and when you feel discouraged, meditating on the word of God kind of re-enkindles or gives you back again that joy. For me, one of my favorite scriptures is Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, and Psalms 35, the prayer of protection. So for me, those have been like really some of the key scriptures that I regularly meditate upon, just for my personal meditation. But whatever you might be either going through in any area of your life, or even in connection to what we are saying today in relation to personal finances, are you able to find a scripture or a promise where God is giving you assurance that as a child of God, all your needs and desires are taken care of, and you're able to stand on that when the times are tough, and you're able to stand on that to thank Him when times are actually good? And then lastly, the last point is take action. I get that from the book of James chapter 2 from verse 14 to 18, where he says, what does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or a sister is naked, destitute of daily food, and one of you says, depart in peace, be warmed and filled, but you don't give them things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Thus also faith by itself does not have works, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. So what does that mean? It means that for the things that we are trying to believe God for in relation to the area of our personal finances, we need to take action. If you're believing God for a plot of land, take action and go out and do a market search on the possible land options. If you're believing God to go back for further studies, can you go online and try to see which different universities are offering job courses? If you're believing God for a promotion and that is part of your personal financial goals for this year, can you begin to look out for newspapers to apply? Can you maybe ask somebody to read through your CV and help you to panel beat it? Can you be able to, basically, for the thing that you are actually believing God for, make sure that you take a step of faith, and a step of what? And a step of action. And in regards to taking action, so what I was giving was more of like an introduction, but as regards to taking action, now that's where mastering your personal finances in regards to saving, budgeting, and investment comes in. So of course, personal finances is more about managing money wisely to achieve a financial stability. So you're saying that, okay, this year you want to buy a plot of land, this year you want to go back for further studies, this year you want to do your wedding. So that is, so are you able to manage your money wisely as a way of what? As a way of achieving that financial goal? And of course, this helps you to get out of debt, to achieve the goals, and to have personal independence. So some of the books that I can recommend to each of us to read in regards to understanding personal finance, there is a book called The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Then I know most of you have read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. and there is one called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Yeah, so I'm not going to go so much in their details, but you can be able to maybe take note and then check them out. Now, in terms of savings basically just is setting aside a portion of your income for future use instead of spending it all. So basically, if so we're now on the part of taking action. So I gave you all the other points. I know what you want, do ABCDE, but now we are now looking at practically how would you take action in relation to what we've shared above. Yeah. So one of the ways of taking action is saving, and saving basically, for example, you earn 1 million shillings, you've taken off 100,000 as your tithe, so you have 900k. So on the 900k, you will assign, say, I'm going to take off, say, 200,000 every month and save it. Yeah, but you have to save with the purpose. So basically, the importance of saving is to kind of be able to achieve a particular goal, but you may not have all the resources available at a given point in time. So you choose to put money aside as a way of being able to life. I think 70% of most of the things that I've been able to achieve, like buying land, building. Yeah, I remember when I started out to build, I opened up an account with a hardware shop. Yeah, I opened up an account with a hardware shop, and regularly I would take money there. And then once I had raised a certain amount of money, I picked material and then started on the on the construction. Buying my car, I still saved with the bond. Yeah, paid a portion and then took the balance back in form of bits until when I was able to actually achieve. Yeah, so one way of you being able to practically achieve your financial goals is through saving. Yeah, savings may come in different forms. Short-term savings, where you're either saving for vacation, maybe you are saving to maybe buy a laptop, you are saving to buy a phone, and then there are also those long-term savings where you are saving for retirement. You want, maybe you are saving to maybe build. And then of course you can either use circles, like for example we have the net circle. Then there are also other forms of other circles at either our workplaces, or you can fix your money in the bank. It can be a form of one way of being able to actually save. How to effectively save? Pay yourself first. Yeah, so meaning that you're going to take a portion before you actually spend your money. So remember, you have 1 million, you've taken off your tithe, you have 900k. Now you pay yourself by removing, say, a 200,000 to go to saving. So it means now you have the other 800k to actually work on all those other expenses. Yeah, or you can, even in the bank, you can instruct your bank to automatically channel that money off. The moment your salary lands on the account, you channel off that money to put it to what it is supposed to actually do. And then alternatively, you can also look at what are the things you are spending money on. Are you always going out to happen with your friends? Are you always spending unnecessarily on internet? Are you spending unnecessarily on Netflix and all that? So you can choose to cut off some of those expenses, and then the money that you are able to reserve out of that, you channel it back into into your savings account. And some of the books that I can recommend on saving, that is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. I think this book is so much on the streets of Kampala. Then Your Money or Your Life by Vicky Robin. So as a way of learning how to save your money or how to deal with your money, those are some of the books that I can recommend for you to go and read. Then, of course, we talked about one of the other tips to do with personal finances is budgeting. So basically, a budget is more of like a financial plan for your income. So what does that mean? It means that you sit down and write all potential expenses that you have, maybe your rent, your power, your water, and all that. So that once the money comes, you're not spending it out of excitement, but you're able to prioritize your needs over your wants. Yeah, because majority of us, sometimes once our salary comes, within the first week or within the first 1 week and a half, it is already spent, and because we took loans or we went over and above our earnings. Yeah. So there is the 50, 30, and 20 rule that says 50% goes to your needs, rent, food, transport, then 30% goes to the wants, and then 20% goes to your what? Goes to your savings and investment. That is after you've removed your tithe, then you break it down to 50, 30, and 20%. Then lastly, we have this. We have investment. Investment is more of like you want to instead, like for example, you've gotten your salary. So we have been talking of savings. So you are getting a part of that money and you're putting it on a side to achieve a particular goal. But with the investment, you want to see that this money that you have gotten as salary, how does it keep multiplying, or how does it grow over time? We invest. We invest to build financial security. We invest to beat inflation. We invest to generate passive income. Then some types of investments: fixed deposit, treasury bills, bonds, mutual funds, real estate. So some of the investment, because I asked here ChatGPT to show me some of the investment opportunities in Uganda. It showed commercial banks. Yeah, there are those bank accounts where once you either fix your money, you're able to get a percentage return on investments, or I think even equity bank, as you are saving through the year, it gives you some kind of interest, though it is small. Then we have the microfinance, where the circles fall. You know that usually once you invest your money with circles, at the end of the day, there is a percentage they give. Then mobile money, MTN Uganda and Airtel have introduced saving options. Yeah, so these also give an interest on your investment. Then there is the government bonds. Yeah. And then we have, I know there are some people here on this platform who are working for different insurance companies. Yeah, so most of these insurance companies have those plans. Yeah, like it's called what, mutual something. Like there are those plans where you are able to save, and at the end of the year you have like maybe an 8% return on your investment. Yeah, and then also one of the other investments is real estate. Personally, for me, real estate has been one of those key things that I have that have worked for me in terms of investment. Back in the day, I was actually inspired by a story. There's one of the people here who is within our circles. We once visited the mother, and the mother shared a story that when they settled in Nigeria, by then an acre of land was about 1 million shillings. So when they bought that land, when they bought some acres in Nigeria, most of their friends by then were asking them, why do you buy land in Nigeria? It's a village, because by then they were actually living within the city center. And then fast forward right now, a plot, a 50 by 100 in Nigeria is over 200 million shillings. So what does that mean? That for somebody who probably got a portion of their money and invested it in land, over time, it is something that will bring a return on your investment. Yeah. However, of course, there are other factors that you have to look out so that you don't buy air. But as long as you land in an area that is where development is moving, land never goes down. It always appreciates. For me personally, land has been one of the biggest investment vehicles that I've been able to use. Yeah, I noticed that for most of us as young people, I know we love to build our dream houses, but the reality is if you're having an income of say 1 to 2 million a month, a moderate Ugandan house may cost between 150 to 200 million shillings to put it in your dream state. And your salary of 1.5 or 2 million or even 5 million may not be able to actually put you that house in that state. Maybe in 2 or 3 years. It probably may take you 5 to 15 years. Whereas that very amount of money, say you have savings, say of 20, 30 million that you would have used to start the foundation, and then the house remains lagging. If you invested it in land and gave yourself maybe 5 to 7 years, you could probably be able to sell that plot, that acre of land or that plot of land, and the money that you actually get out will be sufficient to actually build for you will be sufficient to actually build for you and complete the house. Then one of the other vehicles is NSSF. Yeah, lately you are seeing those adverts. Of course, NSSF invests, like kind of gives a 10% annual return on your money for those that are working and are saving with NSSF, but there's also a voluntary option of investing or saving with NSSF. And then there are also different investment clubs. So in summary, that is what I had for us. That's what I had for us this evening. Maybe I know the time has run. We can maybe open up the space for questions, and so that's what I had for us this evening. Of course, definitely you save basing on your income flow. So that's why I was using an example of $1 million, because it is easy to see those percentages. That if I'm going to put say 20% away as my savings, that means every month I'm saving 200,000. You have removed your 10%, which is your tithe to your local church, and then you have the other remaining 7 and all the other expenses. However, sometimes most of us, I've had two experiences in that personal regard. There was a time I challenged some friends of mine that we start a saving group to save towards purchase of land, that if we save 250,000 every month, at the end of 1 year, each of us could own a plot of land with a land title. So personally, I brought it as a challenge, but I was not I didn't have it in my mind to save. So people told me that now, since you've brought earning about say 200,000 or 300,000 a month, which is okay, maybe some $100 a month. So usually what some people do is to create maybe like you can team up, say you are like say 3 people or say 4 people, and then you do like a circle go round that for example you're going to pull say 50k and then give it to someone. So it means that by the time that money comes to you, you already have an idea of where to put that money. Then also for low income earners, take our parents who grew up in the village. Most of them, their investment was, they had the land, so their investment was agriculture. And so you'd find that somebody can plant trees, say eucalyptus trees or pine trees, and or maybe coffee, and then that becomes actually like his instinct. So you just have to look around you. That what this question I had was about like how to manage your budget, is you find yourself spending more than what you are earning, I think what I would encourage Matthias is that you just have to increase your income streams. Because the reality of life, when we look at, if you sit down and write down the things you want to achieve in life, and you post them, you'll find that if you only look at your salary, it will take you like 50 to 100 years to achieve those things.